Sorry.
The big,
at least,
big shots.
Well, sure, yeah.
But the folk music, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
About.
The folk music, and really the folk music, those are the real big shots.
Sure, yeah.
They're the real heroes.
Generation
They're the real
after
heroes.
generation.
Because if it wasn't for them, and if we was waiting to get paid to do what we do, it would never have made it this far.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it got here, not because of the money, it got here because this was a way of us surviving and remembering who we are as a people.
Yeah.
So this is our culture. And you know, in the early 1900s, Plena had become that part that represented that story in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And so when we do our Plena, it is a way of our voice. It's a way to express our voice.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this Plena, this the music came from the people, you know, from the town people, the people there that was in struggle. These were our stories throughout Plena. We were able to revive and continue that legacy, right? And so even coming here today, you know, what was the message? Well, you know, we're here. We came, you know,
That's
here.
the first message,
and,
right?
And with my Plena, you know, I'm still here. You know, Puerto Rico is still a part of me. And so when we do Plena, that's what that's for. That's the purpose. Is to cultivate. Is to value our culture. And it's there's a lot of fun.
See.
Yeah, we dance.
Yeah.
We party. We eat. But more importantly, we feed our souls.
See, I hace
We
la
live.
patria.
We live. We live. We make through our Plena. We continue to live. That's really why I do it. I know I do this for that reason.
Right.
It validates my existence, my history, my past. This is who I am.
Did it come from Africa, or did it come from the Tainos? Where
It came from all
Could I-
part of it.
could I
No,
Can I take that one?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
But yeah, so Plena, you know, Plena comes primarily from Bomba, which is the oldest continuous cultural tradition in Puerto Rico that's documented back to the 1790s, might be older than that. But Plena, you know, in the early part of the 20th century or late part of the 19th century, there were these new developments in Afro-Antillean music in each of the greater Antilles. You know, merengue grew up bigger, son grew up bigger, and Plena was growing in a similar way in Puerto Rico in the early part of the 20th century when it came to getting commercial access for like international distribution, you know, and movement to the diaspora. Plena and Bomba did not have the commercial access that Afro-Cuban music got. So Puerto Ricans played a huge role in the development of Afro-Cuban and the dispersion of Afro-Cuban music. You know, like in the 50s, 11 of the 13 members of Machitos Afro-Cubans were Puerto Ricans. You know, and their knowledge was based on having a long cultural tradition of Bomba and Plena. That's why they were able to play so well in a different but similar, you know, genre. But to play their own music, it didn't have the same commercial access. That is, so we've struggled to bring it out in a variety of different locations. It's played a big role in protest in Puerto Rico, especially. You always, because it's great. Like Plena, is like música para llevar. It's like it can go with you wherever you're going, you know.
And you see how it, you know, how it connects everybody together. So it has the spirit of unity. You know, it does. It's there. It's present. What we don't see, we feel, right? And we value our people. You know, Puerto Ricans. We value that what we don't see, you know, we feel it, right? We're in a place. Sometimes we have to have the data. And we don't see it. It's not real, right? But not here.
Right.
You know, everything we do, it comes from the heart.
Right.
You can't describe that. You have to be a part of that. So we become that. We become that part. Yeah, that element. And I love it. I love it. It empowers me fully.
Yeah. And you don't need them.
No, we don't know. Yeah.
People become the emphasis.
That's right. That's the idea. You become part. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not a show. It's for us. For all of us.
Yeah.
So
well, I guess the coro is like, you know, there's the human microphone in Occupy.
Yeah.
So like
well,
the coro is sort of like the original human microphone, right?
It's always been. What would you think that might derive from? That's how you know.
No, absolutely.
That's why
it's always been this part of it.
Occupy on your sign.
Yeah.
So part of the thing was walking in the park. I was thinking, how come there isn't an Occupy here? There's one down on 14th Street. and then I hear you guys, and I'm sort of pulled over here, and then I see the sign that says Occupy.
Well, yeah, I put that on the sign, so I'll take responsibility for that. But, you know, I mean, like, I think a lot of people, you know, Occupy is basically a set of tactics that, like, you allow people to come as they are and participate as the way they want to. You know, that's what I've liked about it. Basically,
we have a very cultural word we call presente.
Sí, sí, presente.
Presente. That's our occupy. Estamos presente. That's how we occupy. So we always been
yeah.
Well, you know, I'm thinking back to you know, the Vietnam War days and being involved in protests and stuff as a veteran, and hearing this kind of music like this, but not putting anything together, not really, you know, understanding that that's probably what Puerto Rican veterans were also listening to.
Let's also look at
my dad was a vet, and he got really into folklore after he came back from the war.
Let's also, you know, we have to also look at us as being Puerto Ricans. We're like a subculture of many other cultures.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Because that's being realistic compared to, you know, Africa, and Spain, and China, and around the world. Puerto Ricans are very young.
Right.
We're very young, and we're still learning about ourselves. I think that's something that we're not talking about, we're not using in our education lately, but that's basically it. We are still learning. You know, when we talk about African history, you have thousands of years of legacy to talk about. Talk about the Aztecs, there's many years. But when you talk about Puerto Ricans, we're still learning about who we are.
Right.
And so that's, you know, so we're in this.
We have a vote on who we want to be on the island every 5 years, right?
No. So
that's not who you are.
But yeah, I mean that's a part of that.
That's a political decision.
Sure.
So
I think that's
you know,
true. I
you
think
look at this drum, this hand drum. I think the oldest hand drum goes into history, goes into North Africa.
Yeah.
It's carved on a stone. You'll see it. You know, so look how this drum actually traveled, and then now we, being a subculture, we took it and we got our own, you know, spirituality with it, and we got our Plena. But you know, it was influenced by those main elements that we are a part of.
Right.
And you want to try to define that? Good luck. Right? Good luck. But this is who I am.
Right.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is our indigenous music, Bomba and Plena. That's Puerto Rico's indigenous music. I look at that because before the Puerto Rican came, we had the Taínos.
Yeah.
Before the Puerto Rican came, there were the Españoles, right? So when they brought in that last element, that African culture, that's when the first Puerto Rican was born. And that's when our Bomba became. So theoretically, Bomba is our indigenous music as Puerto Ricans. And so, well, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, that's how I feel. There's many different feelings about that. I think if you go down the end of the line and ask every Puerto Rican, you will hear something different, but all somewhat, you know, connected. And it's a great story. I just think it's a great story when we talk about who we are. It's a great story. Yeah, and I love it. I love every bit of it.
Keep talking.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So.